Hey, this boat doctor. Hey, out here, these were good boats. I sold a lot of these in the 26s back in the, started about 95, 96. Then this is a new Euro style. Let me see. Probably a 2005, 2006, I imagine. They started, I think, in 2000 with the Euro. But anyway, he had a repower of the new 200. Runs really good. And this is why we take these boats out and test them, even if it's just a motor deal. Anyway, I got out just before I made the turn out into the jetty, and motor died. Anyway, I wasn't getting fuel, so thank God for your anchor, because I threw your anchor out to stop me. So I had to hook it up to the kicker gas line. Got back, it was a pinched fuel line going into the motor. So it runs great now. Anyway, in the 40s, really quick. Now these boats they did wonder just a little bit, just regarding your autopilot. I fine-tuned a little bit. I didn't want to touch it too much on your GPS here on some of the settings to make it a little bit more accurate. You do have all your fuel flow in your engines on the 4208, the one up there. Now I think if you want your engines, I know you got your fuel flow sensor you hooked up. I seen it underneath communications, underneath the 2000. Yeah, there's some bait down here too. Anyway, the fuel. Okay, they broke the little fuel sensor, but you're not hooked up to NEMA 2000 from that unit to this unit. So if you hooked up a NEMA, like a jumper wire from the starter to the back of this unit, which you should have, because that's hooked up through a new NEMA device. I'm trying to figure out how you can take it from there and put it down to here, because if you're hooked up to NEMA, it should read the information there to put it onto here. But anyway, I'm going to try a few other little tricks and see, but if not, that's what a guy needs to do. Unless this was hooked up, that's probably why. Okay, never mind. You do need to jump it, so you need to do a starter kit, add those T's for this one, which is probably on a separate starter NEMA 2000 kit. So you need to actually just add a T to that NEMA network, and then add that unit to that unit, and then you should get whatever that says onto here, or vice versa. So it's something that can be done, I imagine. If not, if you just want fuel flow independent, then yes, you leave it the way it is. I put an auto guidance route up here to get back, but then again, you're running all your autopilot off this GH10 unit. And now I made that work a lot better. You'll probably notice now on your menu bars, these are gonna look different. You're gonna have 1 to 15 degrees port and starboard, and your directions control, you can hit that, and you can go in reverse. That's what that's for. So you can do a course backwards if you wanted to, and then reverse. And if it doesn't say that up there, that means it's going in forward. Okay, so, and I put it into an auto, like for a dealer setup. Now, this goes back to this boat wandering a little bit. They do that, okay, but you do have air in your system, which is typical when they put a new motor on after I run it. It has to go through the pump again, autopilot pump and so on. So they need to bleed that, and that maybe is going to make it hold the course. But what you were doing is going into a hydraulic pump failure, because in the menu settings, it was set for rudder, not step on your steering. And now that's how come you got those functions. Now it pretty much holds the course, and it's even going to be better once they bleed that steering. So your autopilot's going to work a heck of a lot better. I set up a quick combo up here just for RPM and fuel flow and your speed over here. And I don't know if you wanted that on. I didn't touch any of your knots versus statute on that, so that can be changed if you wanted to. And you get total flow, and then total economy, miles per gallon reading there. So anyway, everything else seems like it's horn works, all your lights work, running lights works, your fuel. Let me see, I don't think you're getting it on this because of that fuel flow sensor, but I was getting info. Let's go back here, let's go to AV gauges, let's go to engines. Let's go fire this up real quick. You just turn the key. So GPS speed you got, you're not tachometer, that's in the wires in the back that I think Junior knew about, that weren't connected, something he was talking about. Now you get your tach over here, but again, if you hook this up to the starter kit on that one, it should read off of that unit. But anyway, and your fuel gauge here works on here, you'll see. And that's about right. Well, right there you need to tell it, that you filled your gas tank up. That's in the menu settings under fuel. If you fill it up, then you need to say that you filled the tank up to make that more accurate. And then right here, if you go home again and you go into information, you go up in here, you go to engines, and there's your RPMs. See, I'm going to hit this. So your RPMs work, your trim works, your fuel economy and your fuel flow works. And then you hit this one over, there's your boost, and then here's your gauges, your temp, your oil, it pulls down, your knots. Fuel gauge doesn't work on this one. So that's telling me you had it running through this. So again, I think if these were connected together, you should get everything you want to do. Radar works, VHF works, trim on this doesn't work. That's that wire again, that's back there for the trim and the tach. So then you can go here, gallon per hour, of course ain't gonna work because that fuel sensor's not hooked up. So then right here, and it gets really good gas economy too with this 200 on it. It's got that, the horsepower kicks in right at 2200, where everybody else is 44 to 4800. So then you get up here, then you can move this over, and let me see if I can get your flow over here. Knots flow, okay. So that's RPM, fuel flow, eco. Let's go home. Let's go into combo again. Go home, combinations. And let's go to this one that I made real quick. That way I got my flow, economy, miles per gallon. Right here, gallons per hour, my RPM, my speed, my depth, and heading over there. So now I'll just show you the autopilot and your fuel flow. So say you're tune efficient, you're going to be down about there. Then I'm going to hit the autopilot. Once it steer it straight where you want it to go, hit that, engage autopilot. Now you'll see 1 to 15. If you push it once, it goes 1 degrees. You'll hold on and it's going to go 15. This thing will move over. So I don't think you had this before. And now it's engaged, your autopilot is. Getting some of that air out is going to help that a little bit. Now also, once you do get that, but like I said, you are going to get a little wondering, but you can fine tune it by going back into your menu and under your rudder gains. Most of them, they call it a response time on the newer ones, but this has rudder gains. But again, on your turning, what they call it, or you got linear drive and then you got step and rudder. You want to make sure it's on step, which I did. Now it ain't going into hydraulic pump failure. So then, anyway, you can go back into, let me see, combos. Let's go back into this one. So we got everything working there. So right now we're burning about 7 miles an hour. Get this back down to about here. 1.9 gallons an hour at tuna speed. That's really, really good. So then we're going to pick this thing up. And at this speed, you could always bring your trim tabs down if you wanted to help keep the bow down. And then once you get it, then just hit like this, then lift that up. See, until you get to the speed you want. And I'm just going to level it, bring that one up. goes up. You can hear your RPM go up. I don't use a trim tab unless I absolutely need it. We're cleaning really hard because it does put a drag. Now I'm disengaging the autopilot, so I got the helm. Now I'm going to steer onto my auto guidance line I got right here. So right there's a good cruise speed. We're only doing 6.7 gallons an hour at 21 kilometers, or whatever they want to call it, kilometers. I think that's miles. Oh well, whatever it is. But so say about